You're about to witness one of my favorite conversations that I've had yet.
Hey, this is Coach Kevin, and welcome. Thanks for being here. I'm a sexual empowerment coach for gay men, and I help gay men move from shame to self-love. And I do so through exploring a whole bunch of different topics, and consensual non-monogamy is one of them. I love the topic of non-monogamy. There's so much to explore and to unpack within it, not only as a coach of non-monogamy, but as a practitioner myself. And over the years, even as I've helped countless people through their own practices, and as I've navigated the ups and downs, the trials and tribulations of my own, there's still so much left to be explored and, quite frankly, a lot of unknowns. So I wanted to sit down with one of my all-time greatest role models. Her name is Tamara Driskell, and she is a fucking badass coach, consultant, and licensed psychotherapist in Florida. Tamara is an existentialist. She goes where people are too afraid to go. And quite frankly, when I was getting started in my coaching career as a solo provider, she was somebody I really looked up to, and I still fucking do. Oh my God. She's my coach, for fuck's sake. You'll hear us talk about this in a little bit, and it's the title of this episode. But we're going to dive into the intersection of consensual non-monogamy and this concept called radical autonomy. And radical autonomy is a phrase that Tamara coined, and it is the practice of going back to the root of who you are. I love how she describes it, where the word radical here, we're looking at it in a mathematical sense. So if you go back to algebra, to calculus, the root of something is its most simplified, most fundamental version that can't be broken down anymore. And so the individual practice of radical autonomy is going back to the root of who you are as a person, who you were before the world got their hands on you, who you were before other perspectives, other shame messages, other opinions, other judgments, before any other social construct was layered on top of you. If you strip all that away, who the fuck are you? That's what radical autonomy is. And when we live our lives out of that space, only magic can happen. And it's so fucking liberating and exciting. And it's incredibly terrifying because if we are to practice radical autonomy, then we must gift others with their own practice of radical autonomy as well. Now, if you're an anxious attacher like myself, this raises a lot of alarms in our system, especially when it comes to intimate relationships, and especially when it comes to consensual non-monogamy. So practicing radical autonomy within a consensual non-monogamous space means to, using Tamara's words here, to gift each other with our own separate paths, knowing that when we do so, we always come back to each other, come back to deeper connection each and every single time. So, what does this mean? What does this look like? In a very practical sense, this means having conversations with yourself and your partner or your partners about what y'all want, what you want individually. And when that doesn't align, how can we gift each other with that space for ourselves to meet our own needs, even if that's not what we might be wanting for each other? So I'm in an open relationship. And between the agreements that we have set, yeah, we can have sex with other people, we can play with other people. That's all allowed. That all falls within the bounds of our relationship dynamic. And even though we're both giving each other the green light there, that doesn't mean that it comes without challenge, because I'm an emotional person. I see sex in an emotional way. What if my partner doesn't? What if my partner sees sex in a more fun, a more playful, more lighthearted way? Or what if they also see it in an emotional way? So if my partner is out here playing with other people and I'm sitting at home terrified about what he's doing, what fucking right do I have to tell him how to live his life and do what he wants to do? That's his choice. That's his autonomy. That's his radical autonomy. And that can be terrifying. It can be terrifying to gift the people that we love with their own paths. But if we're giving them that permission, we have to give ourselves that same permission too. And so that's when we turn back inward and go, okay, well, what the fuck do I want? Who the hell am I? What is it that I'm craving, that I'm wanting, that I'm desiring in a consensually non monogamous agreement? If he is playing, then I can go play. Who do I want to play with? How do I want to connect? What does that look like? What are my desires? What are my fears? What are my triggers? What are my insecurities? What are my choices? That's where it gets scary and liberating and fun. So I wanted to lay the groundwork of how radical autonomy can play into consensual non-monogamy, because Tamara and I are about to go fucking deep into this conversation, and you better be ready. Like I said, this is one of my favorites of all time. She's one of my favorite people of all time, and I can't fucking wait for you to listen. Strap in, strap on. Let's fucking go. Okay? Enjoy.
Hello.
Hello, there we go.
We're back.
That was so strange. Yeah,
Yeah.
it wouldn't like pull up that there was another participant, and then it pulled me up as the other one. And so like I
Oh,
was in like the room twice with myself. It was really strange. Um yeah, so
it's
thank you.
Mercury retrograde for another week or so. So, you know.
I hope it's yeah, I hope this week goes by fast because for fuck's sake,
Mhm.
this
Right?
has been has been crazy.
It has been crazy. If I didn't believe in astrology before, I do now. Scott got a speeding ticket. My daughter totaled her car. Like the electronic thing has been crazy. I mean, just breakups are happening everywhere around me.
Yeah, yeah, like it just feels like there's so much change and transition.
Mm-hmm.
It's been wild and like
Crazy.
yeah, some good growth, but also like
Yes.
just catch our breath at
Right?
the same time.
And that's the thing, allegedly, from what I've learned from my astrology girlies about a retrograde, is it's like it's an opportunity for you to revisit things and be like, hey, is everything working? If not, we here's the support to make it a shift.
Mm.
If you don't and you're happy, you're about to get another whole cycle of it. So
Yeah.
I like it that way. It's more empowering,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
still a wild ride. Holy shit.
Right? I know. Oh, thank you so much for this. I am
I'm honored.
so excited. Any
Me
time
too.
to spend with you is always such a gift. And yeah, I'm just so grateful. And I've like one of the things I've been wanting to do is just to have just like good conversations about topics that we love,
Yes.
bring people together, and like um especially now like where so much support and love for our communities is needed, but like there's
Hmm.
doing such good work that I love when we can
Yes.
just like cheer each other on and dive into those areas that we enjoy. And so thank you for doing this. I am so
I'm
excited.
so excited. It's like a roundtable discussion. I mean, how awesome is that?
Yeah. And I was just thinking about it too. Like we're coming up on like 6 years of knowing each other.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, because I think it was like
Damn.
2019. It was like right before the pandemic when I started seeing you in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been right. Is that crazy?
I was like 40. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was a
So
baby. Well,
uh
that's exciting. Happy anniversary to us.
yeah,
Woo.
yeah. Um for somebody who might be interacting with you for the first time, what's your introduction to them? Like how would you introduce who you are and the
That's such a
magic.
loaded question.
I know. I know.
What a fun question.
Right.
The elevator speech would be that I'm a licensed psychotherapist, coach, and consultant, um, tending to work outside the box and all the fun topics that a lot of other clinicians shy away from, including religious trauma, sexuality, and all of its awesome wild forms, power, love, money, and death, because
Mm.
I'm an existentialist by trade. So use your imagination. I'm all over the place, and it's a hell of a lot of fun.
You're somebody who like from the very beginning, like I've just been completely inspired by like your ability to go into those topics that people are afraid to talk about, or um people like we don't have the language or the skills to talk about it, but you do. Like you have like such depth there. It's been incredible to see. And um I remember like when we started working together, I can't remember the specific session, but
Mm.
when you introduced the radical autonomy concept to me, that completely just changed my entire life. Like it was one of those aha moments that was like chills down the spine of like holy shit, like now I see things in such a different way. Um
Mhm.
yeah,
I know
for
there's no going back. It's the red pill, blue pill moment, man. And
yeah.
you know what's funny is I don't even remember the exact day that I allegedly synthesized the material for that term,
Mm,
but it has been life changing for me as well. And I wish I had had it when I was younger.
mm.
I believe I got the radical part from either Tara Brock or what is her name? I'm having a brain fart. I talk about her quarter all the time. Dr. Martha Beck.
Oh,
Um,
huh.
her her book. I remember listening to a podcast with her and Oprah was apologizing because she'd accidentally outed her as
Mm.
a lesbian. And,
Really?
and and she was in the Mormon church at the time. So it was like a huge so for me listening, I was like, I'm sorry, queer and religious shit. What? But
Right.
talking about going back to the root of something. And I was like, see, that's fascinating, especially for those of us who grew up with some sort of religious background. Because if you were a radical, it typically meant a bad thing, unless you were like DC Talks Jesus freak. But that's so cringe now. Um, and then for me, my favorite word has almost always been autonomy. To be an autonomous individual, I'm all about liberty. It's my favorite thing, which is such an interesting thing to be growing up in these near fascist times,
Mhm.
right? Where is the liberty and justice for all? I don't know. But you put those two together, and you've got this beautiful life path of someone who can go back to the heart of who they are, think about the mathematical sense, strip away everything that they're not, that's already a huge burden off,
Mm,
and then become the moral governing body for their life.
mm.
And if I respect my radical autonomy, then I have to respect yours. And that's where everything gets so delicious. And quite frankly, I think a hell of a lot easier. You'll have to tell me your experience, but like shit's at least way more simple.
Yeah, yeah, totally. It and like it's so cool how, at least from my experience, like it's been one thing to logically understand, but then the actualized practice of it in the day to day, like you just realize how quickly like the indoctrination comes in of religion, of like Puritanism, like the just a lot of those old school beliefs that we were raised with, like even if we don't actively align with them even anymore, like they're still so in the bones and like in the soul that when practicing radical autonomy, like when that starts to get stretched or when it starts to get uh spicy or real, we
Mm-hmm.
fall back, and like that tension that gets created is so interesting. Um
I love that you say that. Like when it gets spicy, we fall back on basically the simple, quote unquote, simple answers. We love the rigidity of a binary, right? And I'm sorry, but fuck a binary in all of its things. There's so little in the universe that is actually as simple as a binary, and it's just ridiculous. So, I was just writing about this in my Substack from an existential philosophy perspective, which is my fave. Um, the idea of having that freedom to choose
mm,
is what freaks people out. And they don't think because everybody wants to be the master of their own fate. But really, we would prefer someone to hand us a guidebook. And oftentimes, although we don't like to admit this, we want to be master of someone else's fate. So
mhm,
whether it's my child or that community over there, I want to tell you what you should be doing. You
mm,
need to be counting your macros. You should only have sex this way, right? Like, don't visit this store. Good Lord. But when we pull back and we recognize that because it's not an either or, and you have the full power to choose at any moment in time,
mm,
you can either allow that to continue to make you nauseous, as Sartre's put
mm,
it, or you can choose to let it be empowering.
mm.
But if you're going to do so, then you got to let the people around you do it too, man. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's like that the bothness of it, of if I'm going to do it for me, then I have to release that onto you, and vice versa. If you're going to do it, then I have to do it. Like I think that's
Mm-hmm.
where it gets just this like pool of so cool, this is awesome, and this is fucking terrifying. At least
Yes.
that's been my experience, especially within non-monogamy. Um,
Hmm.
like the I remember I remember like you said it so well where um like when first introducing this concept to me where going back to the root of who we are gives that permission for us to be ourselves, but in order for me to love somebody else best I also release my expectation on you. Like
Hmm.
it was that just like blew my mind open. And like within non-monogamy, like how cool that within the dynamics that we have created within our bubble or our partnership, that we have the freedom to explore in this way or to do these things. Like that's awesome that I can do that. But then holy shit, that means that you can too. And that's
Right.
fucking terrifying because that brings all of my insecurities up to the surface that I have to deal with.
Exactly. But
It's
yeah, I would argue, and I'm sure you would too, it's not like monogamous couples aren't having to deal with that same thing. They're just choosing to distract from it and hope that this boundary that we've set into place keeps us from ever wanting to have anything else, which is fine, but it's like don't pretend to not know what you know about yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because even in monogamy, they're still having to allow the other person to choose whether or not to get a $5 burrito on the way to work,
Mm,
or choose whether or not to come home and sit their ass in front of a video game instead of helping you with the laundry,
mhm.
or
Oh,
choosing to spend a bajillion dollars on golf or a new boat or whatever.
yeah. Yeah. So the same principles still apply regardless of the relationship dynamic. It's just what they're applied to is a little bit different. Like with non
Correct.
it tends to be more applied on a sexual level or a relational level, but in monogamy, it can be more on, yeah, some of the day-to-days, some of the what do you want to do for dinner type of a stuff.
Agreed. Ideally, in a monogamous relationship, we have both freely chosen to have each other as our only outlet, but we still have to freely choose every other thing in life as well.
Mm,
We may
mm,
have taken that one off the table, but we're still actively engaged in choice all day, every day.
mm, mm.
And
Yeah.
I argue as a clinician and a consultant that that's what freaks people out more than anything else, whether they realize it or not.
Mm, mm. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that freedom of choice is what scares people so bad?
Because if I have the full power of choice for myself, then I am also responsible for the meaning I attach to it and for the outcomes of it. That's not to say that oppressive systems can't be a part of it, biology can't be a part of it, but with all of that context still applied, I mean, Sartre was fighting Nazis for fuck's sake. Again, not a very different time, 1930s France from now.
Right.
There was a lot of constraint, but yet within that, we always have the right to choose what are we going to do with this situational,
Mm,
often shit we're in.
mm,
The one of the biggest co-founders of existential philosophy was Viktor Frankl. I mean, he survived a concentration camp. He
mhm,
lost his pregnant wife, lost his parents, lost his brother,
mm,
but
mhm,
he went on to write Man's Search for Meaning, meaning that no matter what, we are the ones actively applying meaning to our situation. So
mm,
therefore, all of your bullshit stories are now out the window.
mm,
You
mm,
can choose them, but that choice, someone like me is going to look at you and go, that is your choice. You have that right,
mm,
whether to stay or go,
mm,
whether to open the private practice or not, whether to eat the next cheeseburger or not.
mm, mm.
And at this point, it doesn't matter what God said, your mama said, your genes said, you get to decide, babe.
So from that choice perspective that we get to decide this
Mm-hmm.
everything, then no matter what happens of that, the onus is back on us. We can't put that on anybody else. And so if we don't get
Right.
what we want from that, if we get heartbreak or
Mm-hmm.
the calories start adding up or whatever that impact
Mhm.
is, like, that's mine to own there.
That is mine to own, but then it's also mine to pivot when need be. And it's also the person that we're interacting with. If we're in a relationship, it frees me up of their expectation as well. It's a
Mm,
both and. So, from my very biased opinion, it's the only way to have deep intimacy because I know in every moment you are actively choosing me.
mm, 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 mhm. Oh, isn't that like that's what we all want at the end of the day? And I think
Yes.
like that's and I think that's what gets so scary about radical autonomy too, is that if we give permission for somebody else to choose, then like, holy fuck, they might not choose me.
Mhm.
But if they do choose me, I know they're choosing me actively. And also, who the hell am I to take somebody's autonomy away from them by putting an expectation on what they should be choosing, if that makes sense?
Right. That's exactly what I'm saying
Mm, mm, mhm.
for every single human on the planet that we're interacting with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we can act like it's not happening anyway. That's why I say I'm like, it's funny to me that, clients don't come in saying that this is what they're struggling with. Which is why less than probably 10% at this point of the American Psychological Association identifies as existential. But I still argue it's in there. We can use all these different modalities, but until clinicians can help their clients own their right to choice,
Mm,
you're swimming upstream
mhm, mhm. Yeah.
because who then whose choice is it?
Mm, mhm. Yeah. 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 In in my experience with non-monogamy, like I feel like some of the most growth that I've had in life has come through these past few years through exploring non-monogamy,
Mm-hmm.
especially on a relationship side, where, you know, if within our dynamic, we've discussed what we're all open to, what that dynamic is, what it looks like, then when we press play on that and you do you, I do me, but we're different beings and different people. So the way that we go about our relationship is different. For me, I'm super emotional and this as a four. I'm just like
Shocking.
right, gasp. And so like hookups aren't my thing. And like, so I don't have a lot of sex often, like even within an open relationship context.
Right.
If I'm with a partner who isn't as emotional, or they might see sex in a totally different way. They might not have the religious shit that I grew up with, and so like hookups are easy, or they're fun, or they're fulfilling. Like what's been so interesting is that I then look at their experience through my lens and then judge them based on my
Mm.
my way of seeing it. And so the way that I then filter their their radical autonomy is through my perspective. So if my perspective is I need emotion for sex, then I'm putting that judgment on them. And so I'm
Mhm.
assuming that they need emotion for sex. And then I run with that
Or
thought.
how dare they not?
Right, right. Yeah, 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 yeah. And then like judgment can kick in, attachment can kick in, obsession kicks in, like it can get really unhealthy fast. And so like when I notice that, I have to go like, okay, whoa, 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 like let's come back and of like, the question that I ask is like, is this the best way that I want to love somebody? And that question is so grounding, where I'm like, no, the way that I'm projecting here, like that's not fair on them. Like that's putting an expectation on them. Um, that's taking their right to choose what they want to do away from them. Um, and so like I feel like radical autonomy in a non-monogamous practice is such a resetting, like it's like the reset button every single day. Um,
Every time.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. but it's tough to practice. It's tough to practice continually.
Yeah, I mean, it requires mindful awareness, but I love that question. Is this the, how did you say it again? Is this the best way that I want to love someone?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, it's gorgeous. Scott and I ask each other almost daily, how can I love you today?
Mm. Oh,
You know,
it's so
it's
good.
it's so swoony because I mean, it might depend on the hour where you're at.
Mm,
Maybe it's just a text message. Maybe it's a pep talk. Maybe remind me of a song, that or share with me a song that reminds you of me or us or something.
mm.
Could be anything. Doesn't have to be big things, you
Yeah.
know. But the point behind it, well, there's so many places my brain wants to go, but on one hand, I've always said that the golden rule should not be do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's do unto others as they would have you do unto them,
Oh.
right?
Oh,
So
God. That's so good.
if you're the type of person that doesn't need a ton of contact during the day and the other person's an anxious pursuer, maybe they do have childhood trauma, they have that anxious attachment and they want to stay in contact, once an hour. If you're lucky, I'm worried about Gen Z with this, just like blowing up their phones, that can feel like drinking from a water hose for the other person.
Mm, mm, mhm,
And so radical autonomy comes into play where we can have this open conversation of what feels like love to you
mm,
may not be what feels like love to me. And that doesn't mean that we're doomed. It
mm,
means I'm going to try and speak your language in a way, and I need you to try and understand where I'm coming from.
mm, mhm. Oh, oh, that's so good.
Right. So for you, you love the depth and the connection of sex.
Mm,
But for a lot of people, especially gay men, it's about the novelty, the stimulation, the adrenaline,
mm,
the opportunity, the challenge. I mean, so many things, my favorite topics.
mm,
Um, can we hold space for both in that?
mm, mm. Yeah. Ooh, yeah, that brought up a question of like, what are your what are your thoughts on like negotiation within radical autonomy practice?
Ideally, it gets to be a fuck yes or a fuck no for both of us.
Mm,
That's the ideal. Now, is that the case all the time? Probably not, but there's no reason why the conversation can't be framed and continue to be brought back to that space of, listen, I love the fuck out of who you are as a human being, and I'm just trying to figure out how our puzzle pieces fit together.
mm, mm,
Right.
mm,
So a lot of it comes down to what you were alluding to earlier. Can I not judge you? Can I not apply my filter and demand that my filter needs to be the way that this conversation happens or the way that you move through life?
mm,
I had a very challenging time raising my own type 4 child. And one of the reasons I love the Enneagram is because it helped me with radical autonomy to be like, in many ways, even our astrological blueprints line up me and her like 90%. It's insane.
wow.
But that 10% is so different.
Mm,
The 7 and the 4 in us, like I love transcendence. She craves depth. And so I always joke that we're like a bird and a fish that has to meet on a lily pad to talk
mm,
because she doesn't always want to fly high. She wants to sit in her feels and feel them and marinate in them and write about them and create art from them. And she moves through the world that way. And it's so beautiful to behold. But as a parent who was raised with toxic theology, I was taught that it is my responsibility to ensure that this child moves through the world in a certain way.
mm,
And
mm,
so when she would have bouts of depression, um, I wanted to cheerlead her through it.
mm.
I mean, fuck, I'm an enthusiast. Like, I literally was a cheerleader in high school. Like, come on. It's so cringe now. But, you know, I was trying to love her with what I would want. And that felt like torture to her, which
Mm,
then felt like torture to me because now I'm noticing the distance in our relationship. So it
mm,
wasn't until I fully grasped this that I was able to come back to her and deeply apologize and be like, I'm sorry, like my well intended, but I know it was not what you needed. I needed to hit the pause button and be curious about you.
Mm,
If you just needed validation, then I should have sat there in validation first,
mm,
not tried to pull you through to strategy, which is where I naturally hang out, you
mm,
know?
mhm. Yeah. Oh, it's so cool too, where like practicing these concepts out like require us to know the hell out of ourselves and
Yes.
out of the other person. Like it takes emotional, deep emotional intelligence to be able to like to have these conversations, for somebody to even understand for their own self that they have a permission to choose. But
It takes at least one of them too.
mm, yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm,
I
mm,
mean, I love it when both do, but it really just takes one to, regulate their nervous system in a spicy conversation and be like, hey, hey, I'm on your side. I just want to understand why this.
mm,
Why do you come home and go straight to the video games?
mhm,
Help me see what that does for you.
mm,
Because at the end of the day, we're just about bringing, ideally, laying my cards on the table, you lay your cards on the table,
mm,
and we actively choose whether or not that works for us. It doesn't need to be so drastic and intense. Everyone's so afraid that automatically the relationship is going to fall apart. That has not been my experience clinically or personally. The
mm,
vast majority of things are really not that big of a deal to you when you can remember that you love this person and you don't need them to live life the way that you do, because otherwise you'd have a love robot and therefore you'd be shooting yourself in the foot because you want them to be excited around you and to actively choose you.
mhm,
So as long as one person has the emotional intelligence to regulate themselves and say, huh, is that a deal breaker for me,
mm,
or is that something that I can work with?
mm,
Do
mm,
I want to roll them the ball back with something different?
mm, mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel the same way, and I've noticed the same thing too. Of like when the brain gets so hyper focused and locked in on like we need to have this conversation about this thing because I'm so pissed off about it. Just like helping to zoom back of like whoa, 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 whoa. Like for fuck's sake, like
Yeah.
why are we here in the beginning? Like don't
Why?
we love each other just as like this the time that you spend together, or this thing, and I feel like a lot of times in sessions I probably come across as an advocate for breaking up, and I don't mean
Me
that.
too. Me too. I
Yeah,
have to preach it all the time. I am not saying you need to.
right, right. Yeah, yeah. But I'm just saying that like, you know, we can do the both of we can love the hell out of each other, know where we have really great times, and we can also respect the crap out of the fact that we're different people who have different perspectives and not everything is going to match, and so like on this stuff, yeah, there's certainly going to be deal breakers there, but if there aren't, like it's just life, like trying to find the
And to me, those deal breakers need to be, does it come between me and you?
mm-hmm,
Or is this just something that I don't happen to enjoy about you as a person?
mm-hmm,
So I always encourage clients, like you said, whoa, 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 time out, hit the pause button. What the hell are you making this to mean? What is the story? Because we attach meaning to things, says existential psych.
mm,
There's no inherent meaning in anything.
mm, mm-hmm.
There's anything.
Yeah.
The rain falling down, for fuck's sake. It's either a welcome addition because we need the water,
Mm,
or you're pissed off because you wanted the beach day.
mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. When in reality, it's just rain.
It's just rain. Everything is neutral. Them playing video games, them getting dick outside of this relationship, whatever.
Mm,
Them eating a cheeseburger. I could argue objectively that if you ate like that all day every day, you're going to die early and that's going to make me sad because I love you.
mm, mm,
But who am I to say if that is what you are willing to risk and because you love it that much that you should not have what makes you happy in life?
mm, mm, mm.
I don't get that right. Nor do I want you to tell me I can't have Oreos. Fucking love.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is this is so good. Can you remind me that phrase, or like that question of like how what was it? How can we love each other
How can I
best?
love you today?
How can I love you today? Mm, mm. I think even flipping that or adding an
Mhm.
additional question with that
Mhm.
too, like asking that N word of like us to
Yes,
ourselves, like how can I love you from higher version me to in the moment me? Like,
absolutely. I
mm,
love a metacognitive process because I believe if you could start with that with yourself when you wake up, have that gentle wake up in the morning, check in with you. How are you feeling? Is there any tense part of you? Is there any leftover anxiety from the night before? Because your brain instantly wants to hit play on the record from yesterday.
mm,
How are your hormones today? I mean, all of that. What
yeah.
do I need today? Am I
Mm,
feeling super confident? Maybe, maybe not.
mm, mm,
And then to approach your partner. I mean, I made it with this current relationship that I'm in. We sat down with each other from the get-go and said, "What do you want? Okay, what do you want? What is your non-negotiable? What is your non-negotiable? These are the expectations that I have." And our number one that we matched on, not surprisingly, because we're 7-8 combo, is we refuse to get complacent with ourselves or with each other.
oh, oh, wow.
Right. And
Yeah.
I feel like if you can do that, everything else is gravy
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And continuing to come back home to that, like to come back home.
daily.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you make it a daily practice?
Yes, absolutely, every day. So then but it doesn't feel like work though.
Mm-hmm.
If I want what's best for me and I want what's best for our relationship, if both of us come to it and how can we each contribute to our shared happiness, then the honeymoon period never ends.
Ooh,
And it
yeah.
hasn't yet, 3 years in.
Oh.
Right?
Wow.
Because it also helps me keep my, if I had any bitch assness, which I'm sure I do here or there, it keeps it in check, because that does not contribute to our shared happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Nor is it, as you were saying earlier, that does not provide the best version of me that I'm trying to project forward to the world.
Mm,
That's not the Tamara I want them to see.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
God, that's so good. What a good takeaway for somebody, just to reflect on that question and to hold that for themselves. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I see you're literally a living embodiment of it too. You work on your body every day, you work on your mental health, your spiritual health every day. And when you show up in a relationship, you're wanting to bring them that like deep, intimate presence. You are so present in every conversation. Like I almost haven't even seen, Kev. Like you are so here.
Mm,
Um, that's a gift to people. So you are refusing to be complacent about yourself or about them. And if they need more or different, then you're going to decide whether that's something that you can handle.
mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. And I think like that's where like some of the challenge, uh, the exciting challenge is then because then that it flips it back onto us where we have
Mhm.
to assess for us exactly what you said, like what am I what am I willing to handle? What can I handle? What do I want to handle? Kind of the pros cons there of what how is it serving me? What is it expending from me? All those stuff. And it's interesting in that reflection that then brings up childhood, it brings up
Mhm.
anxieties, fears, all those things. And yeah, like it's a it's an ever ongoing process. But yeah, I think continuing just to come back to those grounding questions. And for me, it's been that one of like, is this the best way that I want to love somebody? And like that was a question that was the really clear point where I knew I needed to end my marriage was like
Mhm.
the version of myself that I knew,
Same.
yeah, that I knew that I was like I the paths were just going in different directions. And I knew for that, one of us had to shift so drastically. And that's
And
not
that's not loving.
right. Right.
That's the part that people forget.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so funny. The very thing that they are trying to protect is the very thing that's actually keeping them stuck. It makes no sense to me.
Mm,
They want to be a good, loving partner. And I would argue it's not loving to try and cajole someone into changing.
mm, mhm, mhm,
It's just not. And if you are not the person that can bring out the best in them and they can't in you, and you really only love who you used to be or the idea of them or what you could be, and you can't actually actively choose to love them in this moment,
mm,
then you're not the right partner for them. And it's unloving to keep them from having that with someone else. And
mhm.
same for you.
Right, right. And that also doesn't mean that like anybody's wrong or that anything is broken, you know?
No,
Like it just
no.
it's so simple, really, where it's just like we were there for a time and that
Yes.
the time was aligned and we grow. And as we grow and evolve, pots change and paths change. And if it doesn't fit anymore, then the best way that we can love each other, in my opinion, is being able to say, like, I'm so proud of you for who you are. And to use your words, like, I now let you go to do your own thing.
Yes.
And I'm going to do the same for myself. Like
I
that.
wish every marriage vow, because I still believe in it, said, for as long as we both shall will it.
Mm, mm, yeah.
Let
Yeah.
it be an active choice.
Oh, yeah, and that exactly. It goes back to
Mhm.
choice. Wow. Oh my gosh, Tamara,
Right?
thank you. This is amazing. Absolutely
Do
amazing.
this a million more times, friend.
Oh, yes, let's definitely because I definitely like want to talk about death as permission. Like we have to
Yes,
do
we
that too.
do.
Yeah, yeah, so many. Oh, so much goodness there. Just for anybody who might be listening, any way that they can find you, anything that you want to plug or share, anything like that?
You can certainly hit me up at tamaradriscoll.com. That's with Driskell, not like the strawberries, although those are delicious. And you can find me under that name pretty much anywhere on the interwebs. I have a Substack, I've got Instagram, TikTok, all the fun things.
Mm,
So,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
come
Oh,
say hi. Mhm.
thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for who you are for just this time. I'm so grateful for you. You are such
My
a light,
honor.
and it's such a thrill to spend time with you.
Bam. I told you that shit was fucking good. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you loved the conversation that we had. Go follow Tamara. You'll be hearing more from her soon because we have so many more conversations to have. And if you have any questions, if there's any questions that you want answered between the both of us, send them my way. Let's create a good community. Let's create good discussion here because these topics are so much fun. And there's a lot to unpack. Thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed this. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you so soon. Love you.